What would be the one light shaper I recommend if I could only have one? It could be the deep large silver umbrella. My name is Ab Sesay, and in this video, I'm going to give you 4 2-light setups using just the Godox 51-inch silver umbrellas. For some looks, I'm going to follow the rules, but by the end, we're breaking them. Because as you know, there are levels to this. Before I get into all the reasons why, let me start with some pictures and some lighting setups, because if you can't take stunning images with them, then nothing else really matters. For this shot, I started off with one silver umbrella positioned behind me and aimed into a V-flat, and then another silver umbrella with a sock on it positioned above the seamless and behind our model Dove. Now, if you don't have a V-flat, you can use a wall, a roll of white seamless, or you can tape a bunch of small boxes together and paint them white. Be inventive, because as you know, there are levels to this. I position the umbrella going into the V-flat low to make sure the light coming off the V-flat is brighter towards the top of our model. A white umbrella is more ideal to do this, but I wanted to show that using silver, it's still a viable option. I positioned the bulb right at the back edge of the umbrella to make sure I could get the widest spread possible. For the light behind our model, I'm using a silver umbrella with a diffuser on it. The diffuser gives me a wider, more even spread of light. If you want this look in a smaller space, just try sitting poses. Here I have lowered my background and simply have our model sitting on an apple box. For this set of images, I want to make it look like her back is to the sun with light washing over her. Whether full body or tight beauty shots, this setup creates effortless, flattering light. For this shot, I'm keeping it really simple before I get more advanced. So I'm just using one umbrella here. What I really want to illustrate is part of the why for a silver umbrella, and that is the ability to zoom the umbrella to get 3 distinct positions. One focused, one slightly focused, and another defocused. So the main reason I'm choosing silver over white or umbrellas over soft boxes is the ability to focus and defocus the light. I love hard light, and the deep silver umbrellas give me this option. For this shot, I'm using one silver umbrella above as a main light, and then one directly behind me as a fill light. This is a simple classic portrait setup. I threw it in because you can do it in any size space, and it gives you simple flattering light. Here you can see just the fill light, which is blocked a little bit by myself and the umbrella overhead, and then the main light to complete the shot. Next, I wanted to go with another traditional portrait setup, but before I completely break from tradition, I built a posing table out of old distressed apple boxes, and I'm using one umbrella camera left, but also wanted to show that it also works as an edge light, and that when feathered, it's easy to keep off the background so that it only hits our model. This is another easy, simple portrait setup where both lights are pretty much the same, and it's another easy setup to execute in tight spaces. Now let's have some fun, because as you know, there are levels to this. I took the last lighting setup and deconstructed it a bit. I got rid of the table and really just changed the angle of my main and accent light. But now, what you're going to see is my accent light is now my main light, and what was previously my main light is now my fill light. I'm using the hard line created, using the edge of the umbrella to give me a dynamic streak of light across our background. And the rest of the light is just bouncing around the room, creating a great image just used by itself. But then I added what was previously our main light as a subtle fill. Here you can see each one individually and then together. I even started to reframe, incorporating elements from the studio and even the lights themselves. I love the flare that I'm getting from the silver umbrella when I widen up. I love the streak of light it's giving me across the background and how it's bouncing around the room to also become my main light. Pretty much breaking all the rules here. I love to start thinking more outside the box and stepping away from traditional portrait setups. It also worked really well for these dramatic beauty images with the model's hair blowing into her face. I think sometimes you kind of have to go with your gut with some of these shots. looking at what you see and what's going to look best depending on the model, hair, makeup, wardrobe, and the set elements that you have for your shot. It's not always about lighting by numbers. Sometimes you definitely have to just feel your way through it. So why use umbrellas? They are the most cost-effective light shaper, and they are also extremely portable and easier to use with lighter duty stands and booms. I went with the large 51-inch umbrellas because they are still small enough to use in tighter spaces, but also give me a large light source when needed. I like that you can focus a deep silver umbrella so that I always have a broader, harder light option rather than using a bare bulb or a standard reflector. Things to watch out for is when using a deep silver umbrella, each panel in the umbrella is actually a separate light source. You see here in the model's catch lights. If using a lighter color background, you may start to notice multiple shadows. Also, when lighting on the boom, you always want to have the head going straight up and down and not mounted on its side, or you can start to get dead spots on your background. And it's more noticeable when they're left to right versus up and down. Also, if using a light with a recessed front versus a light with a non-recessed front, you will see a small difference, so definitely test. When asked the question, what light shaper would you pick if you could only pick one? Well, in the sub $100 category, the 51-inch deep silver umbrella is the one hands down, and there are multiple options to choose from. Let me know if you like seeing more lighting setups using just umbrellas, and let me know your thoughts on this video, good or bad, in the comments below. Please remember to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. I'm Ab Sesay, and as you know, there are levels to this.